Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, Gary versus Jeremy edition. That's going to be the sign thing that I'm going to do. That's going to be the handle that we use for these episodes.
In 6 months. Look forward to it.
GVJ. JVG?
GXG.
GXG.
Yeah. We're versus one another. We're wrapping up the prequel dealy here. The Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness, Avengers X-Sanction. Talking cable. How are you doing today, Jeremy?
I'm doing well. We've been talking some skincare routines on this podcast. I went and got my haircut.
I've got an update.
I went and got my haircut the other day, and the woman was like, "Do you use one of those like 2-in-1 shampoos, conditioners?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just buy whatever the fuck I don't pay any attention to it." And she's like, "Well, you've got a lot of buildup here." And I'm like, "What the fuck is buildup?" And she's like, "Well, have you noticed like have you kind of noticed that your hair is like really, really dry and kind of crispy?" And I'm like, yeah, it sucks. That's why I put gel in it all the time just to hold it down. And she's like, "All right, well, we're gonna do a thing." And Gary, I had a little bit of sympathy for the chick because apparently she can't find anybody to work for, so she was there all by herself for like 8 hours. She's the manager of the store. Like, I got the sob story, but somehow I walked out of a $20 haircut with $130 worth of hair products.
Single-handedly keeping that business afloat, man.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. And I brought it. I came home and like Autumn walked through the door and you've been to my house. She walked through like from the breezeway to the kitchen, and then like she stopped. I couldn't even see her. I was in the living room, and she's like, "Is there some strange dude in my house? What is this smell?" It's just immediately. So yeah, like I'm using official, and all of the products have like horrible biofuel and get a threesome for your shower or whatever. Like, it's horrible marketing, but like it seems pretty good so far. So
I use when I'm trying to look good, I will use like a powder, like a styling powder.
Yeah.
In my hair, like my hair does not have a dry constitution. My hair has a greasy constitution, so I will use this powder stuff. And the time that got sold to me from a barber, they were like, "Yeah, this is the same." They sold me the girl version, which is called like "Sexy Head Forever" or something.
Hell
like
yeah!
That. And she was like, "This is the same stuff as the men's version. The marketing is just different. And it's cheaper." And the men's version was like what you're talking about. It was like, get you a Bigfoot in the bathroom, like Dr. Squatch's man dust.
Dude, it's fucking horrible. Like, it's so bad. Like, oh man, all of the marketing towards dudes on stuff. Like, did you ever see that commercial going around when I don't remember what company it was, but they were trying to introduce like makeup for men, which like, makeup just exists. It can be for anybody. Like, you can just use makeup, but like this was specifically like makeup for men, and like it was just all dudes in like super leathered out, tattooed, like fucking huge ripped guys with perfect hair, like doing this stuff, and it cracked me up so much.
That's very funny. The Norm Macdonald, who is turned into a political shithead, who I nonetheless think is very funny. A very famous thing he did was him doing ad reads for something called the Man Grate, which was a grilling accessory. Like, you'd put it on your grill to give grill marks to food, like you'd grilled it, even though you had cooked it on the oven. And if you search like Norm Macdonald Man Grate, the ad read is fairly famous, and it's just him reading in his voice, where that he's making fun of it, but he's reading it straight. And just reading, the list of claims about how this cool man item is, and how it's good for dudes, fathers and stuff. It is very funny.
I saw a clip of The Man Show the other day, and I hadn't even like remembered that show existed in years and years and years, and never really watched it like when it was on either. Like, I've never like that was just never my thing. And boy, that does not hold up extremely well.
The show that ended with girls jumping on trampolines, didn't end well. Didn't hold up.
I don't even remember what the clip was. It was someone doing a dumb joke, and I was just like, "Wow, this is just horrible."
Yeah, offensive. It's like Tim Allen, the show, like a lot of it.
Adam Carolla, dude.
Yeah. It's interesting those two dudes took such separate paths, because it's not like Jimmy Kimmel is like super woke, but compared to Adam Carolla. You know, like he's definitely like a liberal Democrat, like in terms of, you know, his monologues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He does things and the people who share them. And then Adam Carolla went full like, you're trying to silence me. I'm teaming up with the guy from PragerU to do propaganda across America and shit. Like he went fully the other way.
Yeah, it's
you know,
really fucking strange to me. I mean, like, look at Dr. Drew, speaking of Adam Carolla, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like, just fucking insanity, what the path that these people go through. I feel like there's something about being a popular DJ, like having a radio show that just really just incredibly fucks people up. And I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not smart enough to know, but like almost every single popular radio DJ that I can think of, like, I can't remember the dude's name, who always talked about like his ex-wives or whatever, but you know, Dr. Drew, those two assholes that got Amos and Andy, I think of one of them. Like, there's so many people that I can think of.
Those two assholes, Amos and Andy, are one of them. Amos and Andy are from the 20s, dude. It's like a minstrel show.
What am I thinking? Otis and something?
Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony. There you go. Yeah, I got there.
Those two dudes, Amos and Andy, are one of them.
I was right there. You know the two dudes that I'm talking about.
No, I do. It's just a very funny sentence. Do you remember in the 80s and 90s when you'd watch Hollywood Squares? And every once in a while they'd have DJ Shadow Stevens. Remember DJ Shadow Stevens?
I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember what he was from, but I just remember the DJ Shadow Stevens. Apparently his real name is Shadow. It's Shadoe.
Oh, wow.
American radio host and voiceover. Yeah. And talks about UFOs and paranormal topics now.
Hey, why not?
I just remember him being all over Hollywood Squares.
Dude, I remember watching a lot of Hollywood Squares, but I don't remember any of the celebrities.
Yeah, that show is doesn't hold up quite as well as one might hope.
Is this dude Brendan Fraser's dad?
It looks like him a lot. Brendan Fraser, Shadow Stevens, Overdrive.
You haven't even met my final form.
In this comic book, the cover of it has Colossus fighting Dark Spider-Man and Dark Wolverine for some reason, even though none of these characters appear. I mean, it's really Cable, but it looks just like Colossus.
Yeah. There's no, and also, like, you know, Dark outfit Spider-Man is not in this. Dark Wolverine not in this. Like, doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Strikingly like Colossus. Like Colossus.
It's probably why they never did this, like having the transmode virus totally take over his body before. Because there's already an X-Men who has that on lock.
So Cable has come back from the future in order to kill the Avengers to prevent them from killing Hope, which will destroy the world somehow. We don't really know the specifics on that yet. So far, he's succeeded in capturing Captain America, Iron Man, Falcon. He's beaten up the Red Hulk. Cyclops and Hope have showed up to stop it, and now Spider-Man and Wolverine are here to put the final stop to it. This is the last issue in the miniseries, and from here, we're going to go kind of start jumping into actual Avengers versus X-Men stuff. And that's reading in AVX 0 and 1 today. I got real excited about this. Like, I'm pretty hyped about this. So
I'm interested. This cuts off to 1 hour ago, or the late afternoon 1 hour ago,
or so. Who knows?
Yeah, who cares? You know, sometime in the last 24 hours, with the rest of the new Avengers showing up, they've taken out the Lethal Legion. And Wolverine says, like, hey, you know, street level heroes, you know, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the Thing, that famous trio. You guys bring these people to the police. We're gonna go get Captain America and take care of it.
Yeah.
They push back on this, but it's like, hey, we have to save our own.
Yeah.
We don't have time to run to jail.
We're in the normal Avengers. Like we get to boss your new Avengers guys around.
Yeah. And also you're here for no particular reason. Fantastic Four, man. Wolverine is figuring it out.
Yeah. Wolverine tracks Falcon through the sewer, which is where Cable took him to go to the docks for some reason. And he's having this conversation with Spider-Man because Spider-Man is, as usual, is cutting a bunch of jokes, and Wolverine is not having it this time around. He's saying that
for some reason, because again, he's asking, like, he's like, let me ask you, does this ever work on everybody? And it's like, you've known this dude for decades and decades. Like, this is one of your best friends. Like, why? Like, this is how you guys just had a secret invasion. This is how everyone thinks you're a Skrull, is if you act like when you meet Peter Parker, it's the first time you've seen his shtick.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not either used to it or just like annoyed by it to the point that you don't even talk about it anymore, like, might be a Skrull.
Yeah.
We time slide back to an hour, go back to the fight.
Yep.
And Wolverine and Spider-Man are in the middle of fighting Cable. Wolverine's not pulling any punches. He's, actually slicing into Cable's arm. Meanwhile, Hope is there and is kind of communicating like to Cable telepathically. I'm like, hey, Dad, like, just stop. Like, you don't have to do this. You can just stop. But at the same time, she's picking up a gun and shooting at Spider-Man. So it's not like she's really on the board with the stop train.
Yeah, they're warning shots, but also, it's a big gun. And Wolverine is weirdly loyal to the Avengers during this.
Mm-hmm.
Cable's saying, like, you're on the wrong side of this, which, again, Wolverine's done a lot of time traveling. He could probably understand, all of these people should know better.
Yes.
Enough to at least, like, just hear Cable out. But he's like, you should have known the second you went after the Avengers, you're going to have to deal with me. And it's ridiculous. Cable says, like, Hope, you need to get off the ship because, again, he can't have them there.
Mm-hmm.
You take Cyclops and get him out of here. The Avengers are just supposed to be here. We get kind of more fighting, Spider-Man and Hope shooting at each other. Spider-Man grabs the gun, whips it around and hits Cyclops with it, who then blasts him out of the airlock, starting the Avengers X.
What about that? What about your Spidey sense, Peter Parker? Where was it back then?
Incredibly inept Spider-Man in this.
Cable and Wolverine are still fighting. Scott and Scott's like, no, I don't need medical help. We have to stop Cable. Meanwhile, Cable is punching Wolverine and being like, "This is for mutants everywhere." Like, always a sign that you're on the right side.
Yourself included. Cyclops says, like, free the Avengers. Hope is like, no, he has these all wired up to explosives. Like, you don't understand. He didn't expect to get out of this alive. And Blacksmith, Circle gets the square, says, like, yeah, that's the reason why I brought you here. We can't change his mind, but if you're here, he's not going to blow up the ship.
Yeah. So
you're also the only person who thinks like he can and could disarm this explosive because you've been trained by him.
Yep. So we get a nice cool page of her, like, rewiring the bomb, being all nervous about it. And eventually it works, and it's time to free Falcon, who immediately tackles Cable.
With his classic catchphrase, "Payback time." That Falcon's constantly saying.
Gonna Photoshop that to say "cut the check" like Anthony Mackie does constantly in the
the movie. I think the movie MCU Falcon is so much better than comic Falcon.
Oh my god, yeah!
It's like one of the most improved.
It's still a real
like it benefits. So
it's still a real goofy superhero concept though. Like, I can't even as much as I like Anthony Mackie and as much as I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, I can't get over the fact that dude flies around with metal wings. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, it just looks so silly.
It's something in like a lesser Archangel.
Yeah.
But the charisma really sells it.
Absolutely.
And whenever I see comic Falcon, I'm just like, this guy, there's not a lot to him. I mean, I know there's good Falcon stories, and this isn't, one of them, but Falcon tackles Cable while Cyclops frees Iron Man and Captain America with his blasts. And all together they can, start turning the tide. Red Hulk is getting angry enough to burn out the virus.
To nuke it out of him, which seems hilarious to me.
Nuke it out of me. Like any virus, the fever fights it off.
Yep.
Okay, well, I mean, that seems easy. Seems like Cable probably should have done that. But now everyone is united against Cable. They're asking him to stand down. He's still trying to explain without actually explaining everything. I still feel like just being like, in the future, you kill Hope. Just don't do that and everything's fine.
Again,
but
like
he just
an
keeps
email
saying,
would go a long way. Like sit down.
yeah,
like take
this
one
could
of
have
your
been a meeting. This could have been an email.
It didn't have to be an in-person meeting.
Avengers
There's a pandemic
versus X-Men.
on.
This could have been an email. Yeah. Avengers versus X-Men versus Zoom connectivity.
Oh God, Discord's down again. We must fly to Utopia and punch him in the face directly
And create real Discord.
Oh Jesus. So he's doing the thing of like, I can't, I'm not the villain here, but I can't stop because I have to save my daughter. The Avengers start just absolutely beating the shit out of him. Blacksmith is telling him this isn't a fight he can win. Cyclops is begging him to stop. Hope is like shouting enough. And they're about to kill this dude. Like Wolverine is about to stab this dude in the head when Hope interrupts, and we just see like Cable laid out, presumably dead, as all of the Avengers gather around. Like, the floating.
He's not dead. He's just he's no longer a threat. Like he's knocked out.
He's presumably dead.
So, Cyclops says like, Cap, he's not a threat to anybody. Let me take my son home. Wolverine fights with him and is like, he's a time traveler. What's to stop him from attacking us again? Again, pretty off character for Wolverine. And Cyclops is like, hey, despite what he thought, the Avengers have no issue with Hope or the X-Men, or Captain America says this, like, Cable thought we had issue with Hope or the X-Men. We don't. You can take them on one condition. However, all these things on the ship, we hold on to them. So, the little twist in this miniseries is Cable bringing those things back is how the Avengers got them.
Yep. Real chicken and egg situation there. Spider-Man shows up, having missed most of the fight, and then we skip over to Utopia, where they have Cable in like a healing bay or whatever, like a medical bay situation. And
it's very fitted to his body.
Yeah.
Do you think they make a new one of these for every person?
I mean, it's just Colossus's model, right? Like they just pulled.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Storm and Jean Grey definitely share a medical bay, medical pod or something. So
it saves on action figure cost if they can all use the same body type.
Exactly. Exactly. And Hope requests a little bit of time alone with Cable, she starts talking to what you think is Cable, but is actually Blacksmith, and asking him, why did you betray Cable and come get us, essentially? And he's like, I did this to protect him. And he said, and she responds, no, he's dead, he's gone. And she says, no, we both know what you're capable of. And she reaches down and touches Cable's chest, and then manifests the Phoenix Force and cures him of the technovirus.
She gets the technovirus first.
Yes, sorry.
It starts going into her, and we do the flashback of her being like, I want to be just like you. When in the future we snapped at her, it's like, you don't want to be like me. You don't want this virus. Then she gets the Phoenix Force, which burns the virus out of her and out of Cable.
Mm-hmm.
And her, getting the Phoenix Force, obviously a big deal.
A huge deal.
I
don't really remember like since Dark Phoenix saga back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Have we seen much Phoenix action since then? Is the Phoenix egg
a thing?
All over
New X-Men.
That's new. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. New X-Men. Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. Because they're the Phoenix egg, and then they did like the Phoenix End song, which is about that, and Phoenix War song, which is really shitty and not really about it. But that was kind of the last time I knew that there was hardcore Phoenix shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is really kind of it coming back.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
what I thought.
Is the idea.
Check in with you.
With Hope. I could totally be wrong. There could have been like 4 Phoenix arcs in between there that I totally missed.
Yeah. So he's healed, and she tells him like, hey, chill, like the virus is out of your system. Now it's my turn to protect you. And then we kick over to the astral plane, where Cable, looking super buff, and Cyclops are hanging out in what Cable is showing him to be the future, which is what happens if Hope it doesn't survive. And of course they're talking about the Phoenix, and Cyclops says he's always believed Cable that she's the Messiah for the human race, but like he's so scared of the Phoenix Force because of what they've lost from it. And Cable asks him like, hey, do you have to promise me that you'll do what's necessary, that you'll make the right decisions no matter how hard they might be? And it's what parents do for their children. And that's pretty much where we end off.
Yep. Inceptioning him the idea to break bad.
Yep.
Which eventually will do.
No matter what, you got to protect the you got to protect the Phoenix. You got to protect the Hope.
Yeah. Hope has to live even if the Phoenix shows up and starts destroying the world and stuff, because that's what the Phoenix does.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to, the Phoenix is a very nebulous concept in these comics.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Morrison had an idea for it, but it feels like no writers afterwards really took the idea and ran with it. I'm going to be curious as to what the take is in this miniseries on what the Phoenix actually is.
Me too.
Because it almost has to have one. It almost has to explain it, because fuck man, the Phoenix Force 5 show up in this, we got to get some Phoenix lore, and hopefully it's cool Phoenix lore.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful that we get some background information. I just looked it up because it's so weird reading X-Men comic books, because you don't know when you just read them so out of order, right? You never sit down and read just all of them. And I was thinking that the Cable and Deadpool series would be after this, but actually it's fucking 10 years before this, just about. So because that's where that
ran concurrently with
yeah wild.
Yeah, because he had died. He took that, because I think I ended up reading some of those. I think they tied into a crossover. I'd never read that comic, even though it's supposed to be pretty good. Actually, it's got a pretty good reputation. But I think the only issues I ever read was because they tied into one of the lead up miniseries to this in the Mutant Saga. So it was either Messiah Complex or Extinction, or one of those things. I don't remember exactly which one, but that all stuff is part of laying the groundwork for this.
Yeah.
At some point.
Cool stuff.
Cool stuff. Thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate you. Next episode is going to be Avengers 24.1.
Yes.
Vision on the cover. I was thinking about this. I forgot to mention this. So I listened to a comics podcast. I think I've talked about it before, called House to Astonish.
Mm-hmm.
It almost never comes out. It's just nostalgia. Really, that I listen to it, but whenever it comes out, I'm pretty happy. And I remember, it's really long running. I remember listening to it around when these comics were coming out and them complaining about the .1 shit.
Oh, really?
And just being this is a horrible name. It's going to age really poorly. It's going to make things impossible to categorize. It's going to make things impossible to search for.
Yeah.
And it was just yeah, you're right. Here I am living it.
What kind of audacity do you have to look at numbers and go, I can do better than that?
Yeah.
I think I've got a better system for this. You're not fucking Dewey Decimal. Sit the fuck down.
No. Yeah. We'd probably just do letters. So
I noticed we're rewatching The Sopranos right now on HBO Max, and they have the series broke down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6A and 6B. And at the point that you're doing that, why not just put it all in season 6? What does it matter? It's over with. At the time, I get it, because there was a huge gap in between when they came out, but it's just season 6 now, dog. You don't have to keep going with this.
Yeah. Well, the Venture Brothers did that as well. Season 4 of the Venture Brothers is 16 episodes. It's 2 8-episode seasons.
Yeah.
But they just call it season 4. You had to buy them as 2 different DVDs, but now that it's on DVD. Or you don't have to, at the time you did.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just put them all in season 4 now. It's silly. All this shit is silly. Yeah. It's all very arbitrary.
If you
not to mention the fact that trying to find the right Avengers, how many comics there are just Avengers, it just keeps getting renumbered.
Yeah, it's just fucking impossible, dude. You go through the list in MCU of the available comics, and it's just, not to make a pun, but it's literally astonishing. You just look at it, you're Jesus Christ, how have they written this many fucking... And then there's also Astonishing Adventures, I think, at some point in there. So,
yeah. All the adjectives and noun just get mixed up together. In addition, there's the astounding patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, where you can get uncanny extra episodes mighty early.
It's true. You get some spectacular access to the Slack.
Yeah, and you can write us Defenders reviews.
Yep.
Of on Apple Podcast or Podcast Addict,
and you can get extremely early episodes.
Yeah, tell your super friends.
This is the best ad. This is the best ad read we've ever done. We got to shut it down. This is too good. This is too good to live. I got to cut all this out.
It's the kind of thing that is kind of cute because we just pull it out of our pocket. But if it was a rehearsed thing we did at the end of every episode, I would hate it.
It would be awful. Absolutely.
People would get mad at us and should get mad at us. Good night.
Good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.